Hey y'all, I wanted to just give you guys a quick update. We met our goal. We met our goal of 30. Told you guys I was going to let you guys know. Um, excuse me. When we met that goal, we actually met the goal. And to think that I was about to give up, to think that I did not want to go live again, to think all of those things. And right when I thought, that God wasn't going to do it, he did it. That just goes to tell you that you never know. You never know like how close you are. And it's oftentimes like once you've been doing what God said do for so long, results, it's oftentimes that one time that it's really a struggle to obey, that God actually comes through. You know, I was feeling so down today. I'm at the dumpster now, but I was feeling so down today. I was feeling so down today, so stretched, because I know the efforts that I give God. I know the efforts that I give God. I know the sacrifices that I make that I don't even talk about. And so today was just one of those days where it was just hard. It was like, okay, God, I could have made it, but then my dog threw up, messed up the rug. It was already messed up. I'm like, God, I need soap. I had so many like small things, and it got to the point, you know, where I was really about to give up, because it's like I would have been all right had all these little things not started like happening. But when those little things start happening, it overwhelmed me. It made me feel like, what's the use, God? I've been doing what you say do. Haven't been complaining. I just been doing what you say do and letting that be it. And it was the last broadcast was I didn't want to do it. I haven't wanted to broadcast at all today, because I felt like I was at such a low point where I really could not pour. God says I need to say that. I felt like I was at such a low point where I could not pour. And it's like, okay, God, I don't mind believing you for like the big things. But like, okay, God, this getting ridiculous. Soap? I only had the money for soap. Are you serious, Lord? And I was frustrated. And so like I knew when God told me to go live again, my immediate response was like, no, I'm just going to sit here and I'm not going to do nothing. It is what it is. I'll wait. But I knew like when God said, keep toiling, I knew that what he was saying was, I got you, but you got to obey me. I know it's hard to obey, but you have to keep obeying me. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it. And that's it. I wanted to be a woman of my word, a woman of integrity, and letting y'all know like the goal was met. The goal was met. If you still feel led to sow beyond that, you can. The funds are just going to go to more cleaning supplies and possibly something for me to cook. Hey, Natasha. I say all that to say, don't give up. Do not give up. Do not give up. So that is it for now, y'all. Um, that's it. I love y'all. I'm rooting for you guys. To God be the glory, Natasha. To God be the glory. And so that's it, y'all. That's it. Plan the rest when I get back after I clean. And I plan to just lay down. I'm being real and rest. That's it. And it's funny, I gotta say this too. Last night, however much God leads you, Natasha, however much He leads you to sin, I'll make do. But it's funny how, like, last night before, like, I went to bed, I'm always talking to God. I'm always listening. I'm always receptive to what God is saying, like, even if it's not what I want to hear. You know, now in the past, there have been some things where I know God is saying something, like He's saying, like, listen, tomorrow, you're going to be stretched emotionally, or it's going to be a rough day. Sometimes you don't be wanting to hear that because you feel like, God, I done already had so many, I done already had, so many more, like, so much, like, going on with me. Like, I don't want to hear you telling me I'm finna have another rough day. But, like, you go through that enough and you be like, God tried to tell you, but then you tried to say that it wasn't God, but it was God letting you know. And so last night, as I was writing, as I was, like, journaling, God told me, like, tomorrow won't be the brightest day, but you will prosper. He told me that, like, I wrote it down. I wish I could show y'all, like, I wrote it in my notes. God was talking to me, because recently so much has happened. Like, it's crazy how, like, you will have enemies and you don't even know that you have an enemy. This past weekend, God used me to minister to someone. I had recently, she was going through something that I have gone through, dealing with narcissistic people. And even though I was, like, at a rocky point of having to shut my own doors, God used me to deliver someone else from what they were going through, to minister to them and pull them out of the pit. Well, yesterday, um, she's my sister in Christ, so sweet. She called me last night, and I was kind of relaxing, but God told me to answer. It's one of those things where I'm like, God, I was just gonna close my eyes. I was just enjoying, like, a show on TV, and said answer. And it was at that moment that she said, because she knew this person, she said, God wanted me to, just tell you, this was a person that questioned, like, your anointing because of how you look. And she said, God wanted me to tell you that, you know, I had to let this person know who it was she was talking about. The same person she talked about, right? The same person, right? That she didn't even know was the very person that, like, God used to minister to her, to pull her out of a pit. And it almost brought me to tears because I'm like, God, I didn't even know who this person was. I was just doing what you told me to do. And so, like, after that, I started journaling. And as I'm journaling, God, like, was talking to me. Like, He was like, I'm showing you. I've got your back. He literally told me that last night. I have your back. I got your back with the enemies. You don't even be knowing you have enemies. And I be humbling people on your behalf. People that judge you, people that talk about you and don't know you, people that doubt that you are who I say you are. Like, God told me, I'm protecting you, and you don't, against enemies that you don't even know you got them. And then He began to tell me, He said, just the same way that, like, some of the recent things that you've been going through, He told me, He said, what makes you think that I don't have you with these things that are bothering you? And He told me, He said, tomorrow won't be the brightest day, but you will prosper in despite of. You'll prosper in despite of. And it didn't make sense because a lot of times when God talks to us, He's talking to us with the perspective of His vision, what He knows is going to happen. And honestly, some of us are not yet mature enough to be able to hear God tell you, listen, tomorrow or the next day gonna be kind of rough, but you gonna make it. We just rather be blindsided and struggle. And so it's like when I woke up, it didn't make sense last night because I was all right. But, like, today when I woke up, I knew, God, you said this. Like, that was my first thought when I got out of bed. Lord, you said this. You said it. But you also said I'd be all right. Why am I telling y'all this? Because some of y'all need to sharpen your ear to hear. You need to get to that place where you are not blindsided by days that are not as joyful as you would want or as peaceful. You need to get to that place where you can hear God tell you, listen, it's going to be rough, but I got you. Some of us are not receptive, and I used to be this person because we want what we want and we feel entitled. Like, God, I shouldn't have to struggle. I shouldn't have to. We don't want to hear him say, the devil going to attack you. This going to happen or that's going to happen. We'd just rather be blindsided, and then we get mad at him. But even when I was laying across the bed this morning, like, I was grateful. Like, God, you told me. So, like, I wasn't like blindsided. Like, you told me it would be like a rough day, that it wouldn't be like the best day that I've had. Like, I can truly say that you told me. Did I want to receive it? No, but I understood, like, it's wise for me to hear what you're saying. And if you think God won't tell you things like that, you are highly misinformed. You highly misinformed. We can look in the Bible. God, like David, for instance, after he became king and after he was going for like the things that God said, like, he would always ask God, shall I pursue? God would keep it all the way real. Yeah, you can, but do it this way. Because if you do it this other way, they're going to be waiting for you. God will warn us if we allow him to. And I can only imagine, like, God, had I just not been receptive and I would have been blind, I probably would have just said, forget it all. I probably would have gave up had I not had that warning from you that it would be a rough day, but that I would make it. We don't have to be blindsided. That's a choice. God is always talking because he wants to prosper us. He wants us to make it. He wants us to make it to the very end. He wants us to make it to the expected end, to our promised land. Like, his love is so real that he don't just stop at telling us the good things. He goes a step further and he warns us. He warns us of attacks. He warns us not to go certain ways. But what's so sad is many of us, we not listening. So, whew, that is it. It's starting to rain, y'all. I just had to just share that. And I'm grateful for those of you guys that sow. Just like some of y'all need these words to, like, help you have faith. Sometimes I need, like, you guys obeying God too, because it helps me hold on. I'm not like some ministers that have a job and do ministry. God makes me do this full time, and I willingly do it full time. I understand that it's my assignment. That it is my destiny. I understand that. And I fully, like, accept that. Some days it gets rough. Sometimes it get rough and it don't have to be rough. But I'm grateful for the moments where y'all do obey God. I'm so grateful for the moments where y'all do obey God, where you do sow the seed, where you do lift my name up in prayer, where you do send that encouraging word to me. Sometimes doing this full time, sometimes it can seem like, God, everybody's just pulling on me, and I don't get a break. But I don't complain. But I'm grateful for those of you guys that understand that it's a sacrifice for me to live this life. But I do it willingly because I know that someone else's soul depends on me obeying. That, like, I don't know what this thing is doing. I'm grateful for those of you guys that understand that your obedience helps me stay in faith too. And so that is it. To those of you guys that feel led to sow, you can. I'm about to go to Walmart to get the things that I need and to get me something to eat. So that is it. If you feel led to sow, you can. If you don't feel led to sow, honestly, it's between you and God. I just literally came on here to tell you guys that, we did meet the goal, like, so I can get cleaning supplies, get the stuff I need to clean my home. And so, till next time, y'all. Peace.